What's up, you guys? It's your girl, Mika Chanel, back with another edition of Mika Chanel is Just Saying. Okay, it's time. It's time. I know I'm a day late, but it's time for the Real Housewives of Orange County Season 11 Reunion Part number 1, okay? This first part of the reunion was actually pretty good. I think I really enjoyed this reunion. Unlike the New Jersey reunion, which was very slow, this one I liked. It was funny. some of the comments that everybody was saying was funny. But let's start out with how everybody looked at the reunion. I always like to analyze the outfits or whatever. So I liked how they show how Andy was going backstage and talking to all the women as they were getting dressed and hair and makeup and stuff, getting themselves together for the reunion. I really liked that. I thought that Kelly and Tamra looked so pretty before they had their makeup on, as well as after they had their makeup on. I thought that they both looked very good with or without makeup, which I guess that's what we all aim for, is to look good with or without makeup, you know. So I thought that was I like that. I thought that was cute. That I don't know why I thought it was cute. I thought it was I just thought it was cool that, you know, because they both wear a lot of makeup, and without the makeup they still look just as pretty to me. Vicki's dress, it was simple. It was black. It was off one shoulder. I love a off the shoulder dress, a one shoulder dress. I don't know what the hell those dresses are called. I call them off one shoulder dresses. I thought it was cute. It was simple. It looked nice on her. She looked nice. I was a little confused with Kelly's dress. I love the color of her dress. I thought the color went very well with her skin. I was a little confused because I'm like, okay, first I thought it was a halter, but then it was kind of like, it was off on this end and it was like around, and then it was kind of around her neck. I was a little confused, but I did think the dress looked nice on her. So maybe if I would have seen her standing up, I would have got a better understanding of the dress. I was just a little confused, but it was a pretty color. It looked pretty on her. I did not like Megan's maternity dress at all. It was just something with the low cut, and it was cutting across her boob, and yeah, I didn't like that dress at all. As far as Heather, Tamra, and Shannon's outfit goes, they pretty much have the same type of outfits that you would see them on the show. Well, they all pretty much had the same type of outfits that you would see them on in the show. Heather was just, actually, I thought Heather could have maybe spruced it up a little bit more, but, you know, I guess that's her style. She's very, like, a simple, dresser, so whatever. Yeah, and Tamara's dress was cute on her. I mean, Shannon, she always looks the same. She just kind of reminds me of, I don't know. I know her and Vicki are similar in age, but I guess it's the way they dress and the way they pull themselves together that makes Vicki seem a little younger than Shannon. I don't know. But anyways, let's get into this. Now I was happy that nothing was over the top. Nobody was wearing tons and tons of glitter, but the Orange County ladies really don't dress in that way. Anyway, but let's move on to the opening part. So, first, of course, they talk about Brooks. I'm like, oh, here we go. Why are they rehashing Brooks? Vicki's not happy. Like, probably most of the viewers were not happy with hearing about this, because we heard so much about it last season. For real, I don't need to hear another thing about Brooks and his faking his cancer. She said, though, if she could do it over, she would maybe be a little bit more aware of what was going on. She was really busy with work. She was just taking his word for it, or whatever. Heather was saying that when they were in Ireland, Vicki said something like to the effect that she would, something about when she dies, she hopes to see Brooks in heaven or something like that. And Heather took that to mean that Vicki still had feelings for Brooks, and Vicki was like, no, that's not what I meant. I was very in love with him at one time, you know, and I learned a lot from the relationship. But, you know, I mean, yeah, maybe one day I would like to see him in heaven. I understood what Vicki meant, because I mean, even though somebody does you wrong, they are just a horrible person, or whatever, it does not change the fact that you had very strong feelings. And clearly Vicki was head over heels with Brooks. So that is not going to change the fact that she still had very strong feelings for him. And her saying that she hopes to see him in heaven, I think is just, her way of she just says some silly things sometimes. But I mean, I understand. And she says she did miss him for a while, before this relationship or whatever. And I can understand that too. But the other ladies just could not understand, why she was even thinking about Brooks in that way. But I understood it. Shannon said that she felt like she knew that Vicki was in on the lie, because she said that Vicki had admitted to her after they stopped filming that she did lie about some things, and that it was just, that's why she just can't stand to be around Vicki. So then Andy asks a viewer question, which said, like, if you can forgive Heather for the way that Heather treated you in, your first season, if you can forgive Tamra. Remember Tamra running back telling everybody about the fact that Shannon and David were in a fight, and, whatever David had sent her in that text message back then. She was like, well, yeah, I can forgive Heather and I can forgive Tamara. I can't forgive Vicki because I was a really good friend of Vicki, and she lied to me, and I cannot get past that. She's like, I have forgiven Vicki, but I don't want her ever in my life as a friend or anything. And and Vicki was like, bye, Felicia. If you don't like me, get off my show. Why are you on my show? Bye, Felicia. And oh my God, I hollered. Okay, I hollered. I think that was the best line of the night. And Shannon's like, it's not your show. And Vicki's like, it's my show. It's been 11 years. This is my show. And she's like, I think this is Andy's show. And Andy's looking at Shannon like, don't put me in the middle of it, but he was loving it. Y'all see, he had a big old grin on. He was loving that, okay? I mean, Shannon, it is true. Vicki is the OG of the OC. She's not going anywhere. She's the original person on the cast. And you better fall in line. Vicki was like, bye, Felicia. My notes over. That shit was so funny. Oh my God. I think I laughed. I had to pause it and just get my laugh out because that was hilarious. Anyway, so then they move on. It's Tamara's turn. So they asked her, it was like a viewer question that asked her, like, doesn't she feel that Ryan is following in her footsteps because, the way he's treating his fiance and, not being in the house with his child or whatever. And Tamara's like, yeah, she takes full responsibility for the way that Ryan has turned out because, he's from a broken home. Who knows what went down before, she met Simon. And even when she was with Simon, it seemed like, he didn't get along with Ryan and it was just a bunch of, mess or whatever. So she says she does take full responsibility for the way he turns out. I mean, who else can take responsibility but the parent? Anyways, and then she talks about her daughter, how her daughter is still, not talking to her. She texts her daughter maybe every 20th text will text her back or something like that. And then she also said, though, that her son, now the son lives with her, but her son hasn't spoken to Simon in like a year. And I'm just like, oh my God, it just broke my heart. Like, this is so sad. It's sad when families are broken up because of divorce. But this situation is really sad to me that the kids are divided in that way. Like, I mean, Tamara says that her and Simon get along now, but one kid's not talking to him, one kid's not talking to her. Oh my God, I couldn't even imagine that. It's so freaking sad. I hope that they figure that out because 2 years is a long time to not have communication with your underage daughter. Man, it's a lot. Anyway, so let's move on. It's Megan's turn. No. Before we move on to Megan, I think it was Andy Andy asked Tamara about being a good Christian or something like that, and Kelly says she doesn't feel like Tamara is a good Christian because Tamara's two-faced. And so then her and Tamara get into this back and forth about, how is Tamara two-faced? Tamara was always nice to her in the beginning. The only reason her and Tamara, that Tamara and Kelly fell out, Tamara says, is after when they were in Ireland and Kelly said something about her daughter, which she didn't say anything about her daughter, but she did mention her daughter. She was saying it about Tamara, but at the same time, Kelly likes to do the low blows. I like Kelly, but she does like to do those low blows. And so they kind of went back and forth with that. And Kelly kind of got a little stuck and a little lost in her argument. I think that she was ready to gun for Tamara, but she didn't have her argument put together. So I got a little confused when Kelly was talking, and I think everybody did. And then they went to commercial, which I was happy about, because I'm like, oh, Kelly, girl, just close your mouth. Just close your mouth, okay? And then, so anyways, now it's Megan's turn. They come back after the break. They ask her how she feels about Jim not being around for, all the procedures that she had to go through. And she was just saying, she's like, he was in Florida for training camp. I'm in California. He works. It wasn't possible. It was spring training, and it just wasn't possible, for him to be there. And he's like, well, that one day he was playing golf. And she's like, yeah, that was his one day off, and it didn't make sense for him to fly all the way to California and then fly all the way back. Which, I personally would have wanted my husband to do that, but everybody's relationship is different. I can understand it. It is a lot, but it's not like they can't afford it. Okay, so just go ahead and do it. Sleep on the plane there, sleep on the plane back. Your wife is going through this surgery, and her mom has to be there with her because you're not. I don't know, or maybe they should have planned it at a different time. Maybe Megan should have waited until the season was over and then started going through the whole IVF process, so that Jim could have been there with her. I don't know. And then they ask Andy reads this question, and it was to Megan about, like, do you think that Jim is going to be a hands-on dad, or is he going to be a dad like Dr. Terry DeBro? Now, this is like, oh, Heather is like, shady motherfuckers. Don't be talking shit about my husband, okay? Because my husband works. He cannot be there all the time because he has a job. He is a very good father, okay? So don't try and play my husband like that, all right? Like, Heather was going on and on and on. But Heather, even throughout the show, you were saying how he's just not around, and I think that what the question was about. But at the same time, I do understand because he does seem like a very good father. He just isn't around as much, because he does have, he works a lot, and he's keeping them in the lifestyle that they become accustomed to. So it has to be a little give and take. So I'll give Heather a little pass on that one. But yeah, she stuck up for her man. All right. Don't talk shit about her man. All right. Not around her, at least. And then Andy finishes up with Megan asking her, like, do you think now that you're pregnant that there is a difference between being a step parent and having your own biological child? And she's still sticking to what she said. She's like, the bond will probably be different, but I'm still going to love them all the same or whatever. So it is what it is. That's just a weird question to ask somebody, I think. But I do know why he asked that, because the first season she came on last season, or whatever season it was, she was saying how she felt like her stepkids were her kids and she loved them just like, whatever. So I do understand why he asked the question. I still think it's just a weird question to ask somebody because, your stepkids, your biological kids, I don't like making that distinction, but I've never been a step parent. I don't have any stepchildren, so I don't know, all that. But I have had a stepmom. I have a stepmom. I don't really, well, she never had any children of her own. And so I guess that was a little different too. Anyways, let's move on, y'all. Let me not make this video long as hell. It's Kelly's turn. They roll through the montage of Kelly's time on the show. Andy says that she is the most polarizing housewife to ever step foot on the OC cast. Now, did y'all see Heather and Tamara's faces when he said that? They didn't pan over to Shannon or anybody else. They only focused on Tamara and Heather, which makes me think that they had the biggest reaction because the looks on their faces, they were not happy by that comment that Andy made. Like, they were not happy at all. And, you know, Tamara, you know, she liked to hold the crown of the drama queen, the beauty queen, all of that on the show, you know, and she's losing her crown. And I don't think Tamara liked that all that much, that comment that Andy made, you know. Neither one of them said anything. It was just the looks. You know, which I do think she is. I mean, she came on this show, like, she came in like a motherfucking wrecking ball, didn't she? She was like, I am Kelly Dodd, and I am motherfucking here. And then I liked it when they did the montages, though, because her jokes, they were funny. They were childish, but they were funny. You know, she didn't mean any harm about any of the jokes. I mean, it could be annoying, like the whole thing where that she was doing that in Ireland. I could see how that could get annoying, but I don't see how it escalated the way it did. Anyways, Andy asks Kelly if she has any regrets. You know, it's her first season. Does she regret anything? She says that the only thing that she regrets is the way that she treated and talked about her husband. She doesn't have any regrets for the way she treated the other chicks on the show or whatever, but she was like, as far as her husband, you know, her you know, they watched the show together. He was very upset about some parts. She said that she was able to really look into herself and see some things that she may need to change, which is always good. I think that that's such a unique opportunity to be on a reality show and to sit back and then watch yourself, because you may think you're one way and you're actually another way, or you may think that you said something and you really didn't, or vice versa. You know, even when I do these videos, like sometimes I re-watch the videos and I'm like, oh my God, I messed up. I didn't mean to say that. Like, oh my God, you know, the person's name that I said was already, you know, so like when you're in the moment, you're not thinking, you know. So I think it's a very unique opportunity that the reality stars have to just kind of look at yourself and hopefully grow from what you see on the screen. Then they move on to Shannon. Not to Shannon, but they move on to talk about Shannon's 70s party and how, you know, people were saying that possibly Shannon set Kelly up, because remember she had those two ladies come in and they were talking mess about Kelly and, you know, trying to spill all of Kelly's beans. First, Megan said that she did feel like, you know, it was a setup. And then towards the end, she started saying she doesn't see the setup. I felt like she was a little bit shady towards Kelly a couple of different times. Like when Kelly and Tamara were going back and forth, Megan was like, well, you did say, you know, shut the fuck up to her. So that's one thing. And then like when she's saying this, like she said they were setting her up, then she's like, she doesn't see the setup. I don't know. I don't know if she meant that she did feel the other two women were setting Kelly up, but not Shannon, or I'm not really sure. But in my opinion, that shit was a set up, okay? And Shannon could sit there and say it wasn't, and she don't have time, and she don't plan parties to set people up. She ain't got time to set people up. Girl, you ain't got nothing but fucking time on your hands, okay? And that party did not take that much planning, all right? You got nothing but time on your hands. And why did the chicks have a mic? Just like Kelly had pointed out, they had mics on. So clearly, they were coming to say something, or else they wouldn't have had a mic. They don't just put mics on anybody unless they think they're going to be part of the whatever's going on at that moment, the storyline that's going on at that moment, okay? So whatever, you know, it was a setup. I know it was a setup. Half of America knows it was a setup. And so that's, you know, Kelly feels it, and that's all that matters. They asked Vicki, it was a question that was written in, and it was to Vicki, do you feel like you were in the wrong for getting in David's face? And do you feel like he was wrong for the way he spoke to you? She says that she first of all wasn't talking to David. She said she was talking to someone else, and then David jumped in the conversation. I do remember him saying something about Vicki. She was a pig or something, and then that's when Vicki walked over and got in his face. And they did rewind the clip, so I was like, I know I'm not crazy because I know I remember that. And they did rewind the clip and show like David had said something, and then Vicki walked up to his face or whatever. But either way, he had no right to talk to Vicki that way. He was very aggressive with Vicki. And even the things that he was saying about Vicki to Shannon throughout this season was very aggressive. And I'm like, well, why are you so upset? Which leads me to believe, like I said before, that Vicki knows some real shit about their marriage. And you know, David is upset that Vicki knows all this, and then because her and Shannon aren't friends anymore. I just feel like it's something more. Like I was saying, it's something more to that. But then Megan jumps in, and Megan is like, she doesn't feel, I mean, all the women, even Shannon said that David was wrong in the way that he spoke to Vicki. But Megan feels like he wasn't wrong. Just because Vicki's a woman doesn't mean she gets a free pass. Like, if you get in somebody's face, then you deserve whatever comes after that. And that's how Megan feels. And I'm like, girl, no. You don't want to say that too soon, because, you know, I believe in equality and all of that. And I do believe that a woman shouldn't be all up in a man's face. But at the same time, if she does get in his face, he should know how to handle himself. You know what I mean? And that's a punk ass that can't, you know. I had a similar situation. Nobody was all in my face cursing at me, but it was a man that got, like, somebody else's husband got really aggressive with me one time after anything, you know, I said one little small thing, and he just, like, flew off the handle. But, you know, she was trying to apologize for her husband and all that. I'm like, girl, don't apologize for your husband. He an asshole. I just know to stay away from his asshole ass. Okay? Anyways, so I didn't understand where Megan was coming from. So anyways, they finish it up with the whole thing that Shannon accusing Kelly of having an affair with a married man when she was separated from her husband, and all of this and all of that. And Shannon was like, you know, she knows the woman. She knows when the affair with Kelly started, and Kelly broke up the family, because this is the guy that Kelly was supposedly engaged to for 2 years when her and her husband Michael were separated, and you know, going through their divorce or whatever. But Shannon, like, knows all of this information, and then I'm like, aha, like Coming to America. Now I know why Shannon has it in for Kelly, because Shannon feels like Kelly, you know, broke up a family, and I think she's projecting, you know, her own feelings about being the jilted wife, and you know, her family being, you know, split up and broken all into pieces. So I'm like, okay, now I see, because I just did not understand what the issue was with Kelly. But now I see, Shannon, that's why you're upset. And I mean, it's understandable to a point, to a degree, because, like, you know, if you went through something like that, what Shannon went through, and then you find out somebody else that you're around, you know, broke up a family or whatever, if it's true or not, I don't know. You would have naturally just have some kind of ill feelings toward that person, whether it's warranted or not. So that makes me even further believe that, you know, that she was part of the setup at the party. But Kelly says, you know, it wasn't an affair, and if it was, and if he was still with his wife, she wasn't the one that was, you know, having an affair, he was, or whatever. Anyways, I don't really know how it went down, but all I know is I enjoyed the episode. There wasn't a lot of screaming or anything. It was just the words they were saying back and forth to each other. I was like, oh my God. I didn't understand Megan, though. I just really did not understand Megan. Then she was sitting there like, oh, Kelly, I thought that the dude you were engaged to, I thought that wasn't a secret or whatever. It just kind of felt to me like she was kind of sort of trying to throw Kelly under the bus, even though she said she was always a good friend of Kelly. She's not a fair weather friend. She's going to always be fair. But I just felt like, or maybe she just didn't have shit else to talk about and she wanted to jump into the drama. I don't know. But I felt like, you know, her comments just weren't, she should have just kept them to herself. You know, if that's really her true friend, or maybe something happened after the show aired or something. I don't know. But I do feel like Megan was being a little shady towards Kelly. Anyways, that's really all that happened on the first part of the reunion. I'm looking forward to the next part. Let me know what you guys thought down below. Let me know what you thought about the whole Kelly thing. Let me know how funny you thought this Bye Felicia comment was that Vicki threw out to motherfucking Shannon. She was like, bitch, get off my show. This is my show, bitch. Go, bye. Deuces, homie. It was so fucking funny. Oh my God, it was so funny. Anyways, you guys, that's all I got. So until next time, please stay real, stay safe, and stay tuned to Mika Chanel is just saying. Bye-bye.